You know that piece of mail you kind of dread opening every single month? Yeah, your electric bill. It really only seems to go one way, and that's up. But what if those rising costs and all those confusing fees aren't just, inflation? What if there's something else going on? Well, today we're going to dig in and find out.
Let's just cut right to the chase with the question that's at the very heart of our source material. Are you being scammed? Now, I know that's a bold claim, but as you watch your own energy costs just climb and climb, it's probably a question you're already asking yourself.
So the source we're looking at today, it makes this really direct promise. It argues that what's happening isn't just a simple price hike. It's a deliberate system of hidden charges. And our job here is to break down exactly what that claim is all about.
All right, so let's jump right into our investigation with the first clue people are starting to find on their statements. It's a new charge that's been popping up, and it's called the benefit fee. According to the source, this fee is showing up on bills in places like Connecticut, and listen, it is not pocket change. I mean, we are talking about unexpected charges of $2, $3, even $400 just tacked onto a single bill.
So, when people call up and ask about it, the official story from the utility company is that it's to help pay the bills for folks who can't afford their own. Basically, they're asking you to help pay for someone else's electricity. And this right here is where the source starts to raise a huge red flag. Is that the whole story? It suggests that this explanation might just be a convenient cover for something much, much bigger that's happening behind the scenes. Okay, so here are the two stories side by side. The official story is charity. It's about helping those in need. I mean, it sounds like a noble cause, right? And few people would argue with that, which is exactly what makes it such a perfect cover for a hidden charge. But the alternative theory from our source, it's way different. It claims this fee is basically a hidden tax to make you pay for the insane energy needs of all these new AI data centers. Okay, let's move on to our second clue, because this is where things start to get even weirder. This one isn't about some mysterious fee. It's about being charged for electricity you might not even be using. It's a story the source calls the ghost in the meter. So the source tells this story about a homeowner who just got suspicious. They had this feeling, that their bill was way too high. So they decided to run this super simple but, wow, very revealing experiment. And this is where it gets absolutely wild. So the homeowner shuts off their main breaker, no power going to the house at all. The meter should stop cold, right? Wrong. It kept running all day long, racking up charges for electricity that wasn't being used. But here's the real kicker. They called the utility company to report it, and in that exact moment, the meter stopped. With all these modern smart meters that can be accessed remotely, well, calling that a coincidence is a bit of a stretch. So you've got this mysterious fee, and you've got a meter that seems to have a mind of its own. According to the source, these aren't just isolated issues. They're actually symptoms of something way, way bigger, the unprecedented and frankly enormous energy demand of the AI boom. Just let this number sink in for a second. By 2030, which is only a few years away, AI data centers are projected to be eating up 10% of all the electricity in the entire country. Think about that. It's like adding tens of millions of new homes to the power grid all at once. Our grid was just never designed for that kind of sudden, massive spike in demand. And that, of course, leads to the multi-billion-dollar question, who pays? To meet that demand, utility companies have to build new power plants, they have to upgrade infrastructure, all of which costs a fortune. And the source basically argues that if nothing changes, the cost of powering this whole AI revolution, it's not going to be paid by the tech giants who are getting rich off of it. Nope, it's going to be passed down to you. Now, the source does talk about one possible solution here, a policy proposal from Donald Trump. The logic is actually pretty straightforward. If an AI company wants to build a super power-hungry data center, they should also have to build the power plant to support it. So, in essence, they'd have to pay for their own power infrastructure, which would keep the cost off the public grid and, more importantly, off your bill. And you know what? It seems like this kind of pressure might actually be working. The source points out that major players like Microsoft are already pledging to pay higher electricity rates and help fund new power infrastructure. It's a step towards making sure the public isn't stuck footing the entire bill for this new industrial revolution. Okay, so after hearing all this, you're probably wondering, what can I actually do about it? Well, this final section is all about giving you some practical steps from the source material so you can investigate your own bill and your own meter. First things first, you gotta figure out your real electricity rate. Utility bills can be intentionally confusing, but you can find the truth with some really simple math. Just take your total bill amount and divide it by the total kilowatt hours you used. A kilowatt hour, by the way, is just the basic unit of electricity you're buying. That final number, your cost per unit, that's what you're actually paying, and that's the number you really need to know. And second, you can actually run that same test we talked about earlier. Turn off your main breaker, then go look at your meter. If it is still running, call your utility company immediately. The source also recommends taking it a step further and calling your state's Public Utility Commission. That's the government body that's supposed to regulate these companies and, protect you. So, here's the bottom line. Your electric bill might be telling a story you've been missing. So really, the big question here isn't just about what's happening to the power grid. It's about what's happening to your wallet. So go take a look. What's hiding on your bill?